So what is going on, guys? It's your boy Cali Q here, and I know it's been a long time since I've done another JRPG banger video for you guys, but today I was sitting down and I was thinking about, man, what are some of my JRPG fantasies? These are JRPGs that if they got announced today, I would absolutely lose my mind. Now, I'm going all the way from potentially collections to different sort of genres. Anything is possible and anything is available on this video. I know some of these games have pretty much a slim to none chance of happening, but that's what makes this video fun, right? We're not going for reality or realism. We're going for what's ever in this head that we have right here. I want you guys to comment down below what are some of your deepest, darkest JRPG fantasies, and I'm going to be sharing things from sequels to remakes to collections, all of that type of stuff in this very video right here. So let's go ahead, kick back, relax, and have a fun video about going over some of the JRPG fantasies that I would love to see happen. And boy, oh boy, if they happen, I would be a very happy camper. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one that I have on my mind. These are in no particular order. I'm just having fun today, guys. Let's jump into some of my JRPG fantasies. Now, starting us off is Star Ocean Blue Spear. Blue Spear is a direct sequel to Star Ocean the Second Story. The game takes place in SD 368, 2 years after Star Ocean the Second Story and the defeat of the 10 Wise Men. All the characters have since moved on with their lives. Claude has taken Reina, Leon, and Priestess to live on Earth with him. While constantly being sent on missions into space, Claude's relationship with Reina doesn't change much at all. Well, where am I going with this? Guys, due to the success of Star Ocean the Second Story R, I would love to see gem drops make Star Ocean Blue Spear. As you can see, this game was a little rough around the edges as it was a Game Boy Color game, so there's a lot left to be desired. But boy, if you let gem drops get their hand on this game, and it's a fresh new take because we've never seen this particular game modernized, and it's an easy route. It's an easy progression with Gem Drop's current assets that they have for Star Ocean the Second Story R. Rather than moving straight over to Star Ocean 3, which would require a lot of extensive reworking and it's in 3D, they can move on to a new project with a fresh face that will get fans just as or even more excited than when they announced Star Ocean the Second Story R. I'm sure we would all love to see Gem Drops work with the Star Ocean series once again, as they did a phenomenal job with this remake. And I have no doubt in my mind that if they got their hands on Blue Spear and remade this game, it would be absolutely clutch. It would just be amazing. Gem Drops, hear me now. I think that this should be the progression that you guys take because this is new, it's fresh. Most of us have not played this game. I know for a fact I've never played Blue Spear. I didn't even know it really existed until I really started doing some research. So one of my dream JRPGs, especially in the modern age, and I think that this one has a relatively okay chance of happening. I don't think that this one has a bad chance of happening. If they're smart, they game plan correctly, go back into the lab and the drawing board, I think we could see Star Ocean Blue Spear brought to life someday. But that's number one right now I have on my fantasy JRPG list, but this one is a little bit more achievable. So let's hope it happens. Next, I'm going to go with Brave Fencer Musashi. Brave Fencer Musashi was an action JRPG game developed by Square in 1998 for the PlayStation console. The game involves real-time sword-based combat in a 3D and platforming environment. It also features segments of voiced-over dialogue and role-play game elements such as a day and night cycle and resting to restore the energy. The story follows Musashi, a young swordsman who is summoned to a parallel world to defend the kingdom from the Thirst Quencher Empire. He searches for 5 scrolls which can enhance the powers of his sword while interacting with the people from the castle in a nearby village. Now let me tell you guys, for this particular game, I'm going to go remake. I want to see this game remade so bad. I feel like an indie developer would absolutely ace the essence of Brave Fencer Musashi. I mean, this game had a day and night system. It had a system where you could absorb the enemies and assimilate their power, almost like some Kirby type of stuff. And the game had a great deal of platforming, and it was just a unique game through and through. As you can see, it has the JRPG elements because you could upgrade your sword. You had HP, you had MP, you had magic powers, and once again, it was a nice little Saturday morning sort of cartoon storyline that was easy to follow and charming to play. I would lose my socks if we got a new Brave Fencer Musashi game. Now, the game did get a sequel, but it was a shell of what the first game was. It wasn't even by the same developers, I believe, and it was just one of those hollow early 2000 sequels that they used to churn out whenever a game did relatively well. I want to see the original essence of Brave Fencer Musashi restored and legacy regained by a full-fledged remake. Now, is Square Enix going to do this? Absolutely not. But that's why I'm putting it on my JRPG wish list, because dreams, sometimes they happen, right? It's okay to dream. I really want a new Brave Fencer Musashi game, as this was one of the most unique action JRPGs I've ever played to this day. And if you don't think it's a JRPG, that's on you. I'm sticking with it. This is an action JRPG to me, and I'm going to stick with that. But boy, I would be so hyped and excited if I saw a brand new entry to Brave Fencer Musashi. There's not really many ways to play and experience this game, but if you guys are looking for a unique experience, I mean, man, you gotta go dig up and find you Brave Fencer Musashi for the PlayStation 1. It's a classic. I'm going to go with the possibility of this one happening as extremely low. I don't even think Square Enix remembers this franchise, and even if they did, hopefully the current Square Enix wouldn't find a way to mess it up. So I'm going to go low, very low, when it comes to Brave Fencer Musashi Remake. Now, it is without a question how much I love Chrono Cross. If you're a follower of the channel, you know that this game is very near and dear to my heart. And no, that remaster slash port slash whatever that poor attempt was that Square Enix put out a year ago was not it, man. I mean, it wasn't terrible, and I do appreciate that they updated the models a little bit, and it wasn't a total traversity, right? Like, it wasn't a total tragedy, but Chrono Cross deserves to be remade in full modern-esque JRPG glory. Just like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is getting, I would go crazy if I saw a Chrono Cross remake in the same vein. I can't even imagine the visuals. I can't even imagine how dope it would look. I couldn't even imagine seeing Kid and Surge in that beautiful modern 3D. Man, I am just having a mental breakdown even thinking about how excited I would be in the anticipation and build up for a full-fledged Chrono Cross remake. Now, if a lot of you guys don't know, I am a Chrono Cross fan through and through. The whole cross and trigger thing does not bother me whatsoever. In fact, I prefer Chrono Cross 10 times, 100 times more. No disrespect to the trigger fans, but that's just how I feel. I love this game. I would love to hear a lot of the music tracks redone, even though they're already masterpieces. And if we could get a Chrono Cross in the same vein as the CGI for Chrono Cross in 2024 and up, man, I would lose my mind. I remember that little mobile game they did the collab with was showing Kid and Surge in cell shaded graphics, and I was just losing my mind at the thought. Look, I can't even talk right. At the thought of thinking about Chrono Cross with modern 3D graphics. It would just make me so hyped and so excited. But the chances of this happening now, especially when you have Square neglecting a lot of their franchises that's not Final Fantasy. Heck, Final Fantasy itself is having a little bit of trouble these days. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this one at relatively low. I don't know if we'll even touch the Chrono series again. Heck, I'm talking about a Chrono Cross remake, but I would love to still see Chrono Break. Who remembers the Chrono Break days? The rumors. Chrono Break days is like Shenmue 3 rumors at this point. But anyway, yeah, I would lose my mind if we got a modern day Chrono Cross remake. I do wonder if Chrono Trigger has a better chance of being remade than Cross at this moment, but boy, it doesn't matter to me. I would lose my mind if I had a Chrono Cross remake, and I'm throwing that in my wish list, even though the possibility of it happening is very low. Next, you know what's coming. Guys, Grandia is probably one of my favorite JRPG series of all time. Well, Grandia 1 and 2, of course. They are two masterful JRPGs, and I think right now more than ever, we've heard the name Grandia being thrown around so much because of the recently released Grandia HD collection for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Now, Gung Ho Entertainment, I know we're cool and all, but guys, take it from me. let's go ahead and give me that Grandia 4. Give me Grandia 4. I think it's time for a new entry in this series. It hasn't had an entry since Grandia 3 back on the PlayStation 2 era, I believe in 2005. Guys, now is the time. There's been more renewed interest in the Grandia series this year alone than there's been in decades. And I think it's time for Gung Ho Entertainment, Gung Ho America, if you see this video, it is time to make it happen. Now, Gung Ho, I have a good relationship with, as I appreciate them looking out for me with the Grandia HD collection. And if you guys haven't checked that out yet, please be sure to go check out the Grandia HD collection, available for pretty much every major platform, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. But I just want to say, I think it's time. If you guys are going to be the ambassador and pioneers of the Grandia legacy, now is the time to capitalize on that and do a Grandia 4. Or if you're afraid to do 4, go ahead and do another Grandia spinoff, but make it better than Grandia Extreme. Please do not make it a dungeon crawler. I think if Gung Ho has a couple of the original members on board, as well as a good vision and a modern vision of what a Grandia game would look like in 2024 and beyond, guys, it would be a huge, amazing investment to me, and I will be promoting the heck out of that game, because I truly believe the Grandia series has one of the best battle systems of all time in any turn-based action JRPG. Grandia is amongst the top 5 battle systems of all time, and that is too amazing of a battle system for it to just be lost to the throes of time. So I think it's time to bring back the Grandia series. Now, once again, I don't know who owns the rights to this series right now, but a Grandia 4 would absolutely blow my mind. I've been saying that a lot this video, but that's because it's my dream JRPG video, y'all. Whatever gets announced on this list, I would go crazy. But it's time, man. I talk about Grandia so much on my channel, and now is the time to capitalize on this. Let's make Grandia 4 happen. Even if it's subpar, it'd just be so amazing to see someone else's take on that beautiful battle system that's just lost to time right now. So I'm gonna give this one a unlikely, but I'm never going to say never when it comes to a new Grandia game, because Gung Ho is very active with the Grandia IP, and I have faith that they will do the right thing someday, at least. Hopefully, maybe. Now, my next one is a little bit off the wall, and this is why I said this one is not just about sequels or remakes. I want to see a dot hack MMO. Yes, I said it. There it go. Boom. Listen, I used to love PSO. Phantasy Star Online is my jam. But man, these days I have been missing a MMO so much, and PSO2 New Genesis is just not the right move for me. It was just not the game that I thought it would be, especially after playing PSO2 for so long. That brought me back to my original idea. Dot Hack was one of those pioneering PS2 JRPGs that was already trying to implement the aspect of social and online play through users and avatars and going on this JRPG adventure within the world or within the net. I would love to see them double down and actually do a full-fledged Dot Hack MMO, man. That would be so epic to me. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Dot Hack in general, but I think it was a solid series. I absolutely love it as a series. But man, if it were to come back as the actual MMO, I think it should have been back in the day, and the MMO that it was trying to emulate back in the day, I would be so blown away and excited for the aspect and the possibility of a Dot Hack MMO. Now, this could just be my thirst and desire to bring MMOs back that I care about talking right now, and maybe I'm just thirsty for any old MMO, but we'll save that for another video. I would actually like to see the Dot Hack concept, which was way ahead of its time. I would love it to see it implemented with today's new technology of actually having a social platform, actually having online play, actually having hub worlds, and being able to go on that story together. You mix that in with the real-time action gameplay, and boy, you got you a Dot Hack hit. Now, this would just make me so happy. Who knows if this would actually happen? We can't even get a proper collection remake of the first 3 games. So I'm going to go ahead and give the possibility of this one very low and unlikely as well. Now, this one right here is just me being greedy, but I would love a Tales of Vesperia sequel, Tales of Vesperia 2. Tales of Vesperia is the main reason that I even got into the Tales of series, and it remains probably my favorite Tales of game of all time, and I just miss these characters in their world. Yuri was one of the best JRPG protagonists of all time, and he is honestly part of the reason why I'm even a Tales fan to this day. This game's beautiful cel-shaded graphics just always blew my mind at how well they look and still hold up very strongly until this very day. I just want an excuse to revisit the world, see how Yuri and Estelle, Rita, and the gang are doing, and I know this one is probably very unlikely just due to the nature of the rarity of how rare Tales of sequels can be. But boy, I would love to revisit Tales of Vesperia's world just to see what the gang has been up to. So I'm gonna give the chances of this one happening very, very, very low because typically Bandai Namco doesn't do Tales sequels, and we don't even know what's going on with the Tales of franchise right now. In general, it has been silent ever since Arise. And piggybacking off of Tales of Vesperia sequel, where in the world is my Tales of Xillia HD collection, Bandai Namco? These games are stuck in the PS2 era and they've never been re-released. So many epic new Tales of fans have no idea what the Xillia games were, and the Xillia games at the time were groundbreaking for the Tales of series and helped pave the foundation of the Tales of formula that we have now, as the Xillia series was one of the first time that Tales kind of went somewhat open world and gave us a new 3D model perspective and graphics. So I think it's time to bring back the Tales of Xillia games, and I would love a HD collection of both games. Even though the second game isn't regarded as that amazing, I still enjoyed it myself quite well. But boy, man, we got to get some of these Tales of games modernized and back onto these current platforms. Bandai Namco, let's go. Chances of these happening, I'm going to give okayish chances because I do think that they're going to bring these games back. No way they just leave these games on 2 generations from now. No way. So I do think these games have an okay chance of coming back. So there you guys have it, man. Let me know once again down below, what are some of your deepest, darkest JRPG fantasies? It can be anything. Go off the cusp. You don't have to be safe. These are games that I wish would happen, but the chances of them happening are very slim or probably never. But thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you, my channel members. Thank you, my Patreon members. Be sure to check out the Patreon or the channel membership. Guys, thank you so much for the support. It means a ton to me. Be sure to check out my other JRPG content if you're into this sort of thing. And that is pretty much it, guys. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button. Peace.